Have you ever done a step challenge? Maybe you've seen them before and thought they were for anybody but you. And I know how you feel because I felt the same way until a year ago. And then something happened. When I started my life transformation in 2023, one of the changes that I implemented right away was I stopped watching regular TV when I was on the treadmill and I made that my YouTube university time. And when I did that, things just started changing because that's when I discovered step challenges. I knew the importance of movement and I knew that people talked about 10,000 steps. I knew people who counted their steps and made sure they got that amount. I knew people who had started using 10,000 steps in their daily routine and had lost large amounts of weight. So I was always shooting for 10,000 steps because it seemed like the number to shoot for. For me, that was quite a victory because it hadn't been very long before that I was on a cane. And if I had a day that I got 10,000 steps, I would spend the next 3 or 4 days in bed recovering from it. So to me, the fact that I was living a life where I averaged out 10,000 steps a day was a pretty big victory. And I felt pretty darn good about it. But then YouTube just started really sending me a lot of step challenge videos. And I got hooked. I was watching step challenge videos from 10,000 steps a day to 100,000 steps in one day, and it did something to me. It made me start dreaming, and it made me start believing that I could actually do a step challenge. Over the past 12 months, I have done 4 step challenges, and I have done all of them successfully. In that time, I learned a lot about doing step challenges. My first step challenge was 12,000. I did 12,000 steps for 30 days, and that quickly became my new normal. The next one I did was 15,000 steps for 30 days, and again, that quickly became my new normal. After that, I did a 20,000 step challenge for 7 days, and just recently I completed a 25,000 step challenge for 7 days. And through it all, I realized that there wasn't a whole lot of difference between these different challenges. The big difference was simply how many steps are you going to do in the day. But they all had similarities in the base and in what it took to be successful with each challenge. So today I'm going to share with you what I've learned from doing 4 step challenges in the last year, why you should consider doing a step challenge, what to avoid during a step challenge, and all of the many, many benefits from not just doing a step challenge, but living an active life, setting goals, and doing hard things. So here we go. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Stone, and this is Carry On, where we talk all things money, movement, and mindset. And today we're talking movement because movement matters. And the more movement we get, the better our lives are. And I can say that because I was bedridden 12 years ago. And I learned then how very important movement is. And I learned what an incredible gift it is to be able to move. So let's talk about how you can successfully do a step challenge. First of all, why should you do a step challenge? For the majority of people, movement and stepping is just a natural part of the day. So it's an easy place to start in gaining control of your health because we all need to move. And we can all find little gifts in the day where we can find places to move. So why not implement a step challenge? And steps are easily incorporated even into the busiest schedules. For example, today I have a dental appointment, and that dental appointment is 7 blocks in that direction. So instead of getting into my car and driving down there, I'm allowing 5 extra minutes to just walk down there. I can walk, get extra steps in my day, get some fresh air, make a phone call or listen to a podcast and have my appointment and walk home. And that way I am taking care of my body. I'm multitasking. I'm getting multiple things done at a time and making the most of my time. You can always find time for movement, but it's not as easy to find time to go to the gym. So movement is just a great way to start making progress towards a happier and healthier life. Being able to walk is a gift. Finding times for movement is a gift. I've been reading a book called No Sweat, and it has just changed how I view exercise and how I view the gift of movement. And I will link that book in the description below because I highly recommend you read that. We have had a lot of lies and pressures and wrong ways of thinking about healthy living put into our heads. And in that book, the author just really helps to lay out the truth and the lies and how we can overcome those lies and take control of our health. So I highly recommend you read that book. Another reason to do a step challenge is to challenge yourself. When you challenge yourself, it shows you what you're made of, and it reminds you that you can do hard things. And in doing that, you build confidence, and it gives you motivation to keep going forward and keep doing harder things. It causes you to keep pressing yourself just farther, and you learn that getting out of your comfort zone is a pretty amazing thing to do. I could have never imagined that I would do a 25,000 step challenge. Just a year ago, I couldn't imagine that. And now, because I kept just pushing a little bit at a time, I've done a 25,000 step challenge. I think that's pretty stinking amazing. And if you hate exercise, walking is just doable. You can just easily throw it in. You can just park farther away. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator. There's ways you can always be looking for opportunities to move that you can't get from other exercises. And you can do a walking challenge today. You can do it, no money down, no equipment necessary. Just put your running shoes on and get out there and move your body. And the other great thing is, as long as you are moving, you are progressing towards your goals. So whether you are really fully exercising or you are doing housework or yard work or taking care of your baby or whatever you are doing, it goes towards your goals and your progress. So every bit of movement counts. The next question is, what step challenge should you do? Now, I have seen a lot of step challenges, and I have watched people go from doing 4,000 steps a day to doing a 25,000 step challenge for 7 days. I think those people are absolutely insane, and they suffer. They pay the price for it. But I've seen them do it. They've done it successfully. I just don't think it's the wisest way to go. For me, I have to really take care of my body. So I knew that making a huge jump last year was going to be too much. So I was already averaging 10,000 steps a day. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a 12,000 step challenge. That way I was just adding 2,000 steps on. And that worked for me. And then when I got stabilized at that, I thought, I'm going to challenge myself again. I'm going to do a 15,000 step challenge. So I added 3,000 steps on. And then after that, it's been 5,000 step increments. So you know your body better than anybody else does. You know what you can handle. So you do you, but I say slow and steady wins the race. And just keep going right beyond where you are and keep testing yourself. And that way you can still move up and do other harder step challenges as you get stronger and more capable and more confident. The next question, what do you need in order to do a step challenge? Well, literally, you don't really need anything but a good pair of shoes and the motivation to walk. But there are things that make it a lot easier to track and easier to do. And first of all, you got to have the Fitbit or some sort of tracking system, whether it's your Apple Watch or an Oura Ring or something like that. But I've used a Fitbit for all 4 of my step challenges, and I have loved having that. So I recommend a Fitbit, and I will link everything I'm talking about in the description below so you can easily find them. The next thing you need is a good pair of shoes. I have watched so many videos where people do not take that seriously. I don't know what they're thinking, but shoes matter. Make sure you have a good pair of shoes that will support your ankles and help you to do this as comfortably as possible. The next thing that's made a huge difference for me is my regular treadmill that I have had since 1997. So I love my treadmill, and I could not do these walking challenges without it. I live in a rainy place, so it does make it easier having a treadmill. After that, my greatest investment of 2024, my standing desk with a treadmill. I bought those at Prime Days in October, and such a great purchase. I could not have done the 20,000 and the 25,000 step challenge if I didn't have that standing desk and treadmill. Another thing that's helped me get a lot of my movement and steps in is my rebounder. The rebounder is a great way to just get away from just the walking aspect, and it really has a lot of health benefits. I'm going to do a video on that soon, but my rebounder has also helped significantly. If you don't have a treadmill or a desk treadmill, you just need a safe place to walk. So maybe you live in a place that's really safe and you can get out easily and get your steps. And if that's the case, you get a lot more health benefits with getting outside. And finally, the last thing that you need in order to do a step challenge is the will to do it. You really have to commit. There are some days that just get really hard to do it, and it's easy to want to quit. So you really have to have the will to do it. One thing that I found that has made that easier is from the start, I started saying, I am a person who does step challenges. That's who I am. I'm a person who challenges my body. I'm a person who loves movement. I've just started speaking those things to myself because that causes me to see myself differently and then build the habit of being a person who does hard things and moves their body. So you have to have the will to do it. Now, what benefits will you reap from doing a step challenge? Well, science has shown that walking has endless benefits. But just to list some of those, walking will strengthen your muscles. Walking will help you keep your weight steady. Walking will lower your risk of heart disease, strokes, diabetes, and cancer, most specifically colon cancer. Walking will strengthen your bones and reduce your risk of osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. And it is shown to reduce your risk of hip fractures for people over 45. Walking can help to reduce your blood pressure in people with hypertension. Walking can improve your balance and coordination, reducing your risk of falling. Walking keeps your joints flexible. Walking will increase your confidence and your mood. It improves your energy levels and your stamina. And walking reduces anxiety and depression. And best of all, walking will improve your social life. I was out on New Year's Day hiking with a 19-year-old. We were going on this very popular trail, and every group of people we passed, there were people in there saying, "Hey, Carrie," hey, Carrie, or I was waving to. And we get to a place where there's no people, and she looked at me, she said, "Is there anybody you don't know?" And I said, "These are all people I've walked with." So walking has built my social life, and it's a great way to meet really great people. I haven't met a person yet out walking that's just a horrible human being. I've met only amazing people. So go out there and meet those amazing walkers. In my experience with doing step challenges, I am stronger, I'm more confident, my posture is better, my weight is very controlled. I feel more capable. I feel more powerful. I feel just better and more coordinated and stronger, like more confident on my feet. When I was at my sickest, I used to fall all the time and I would just be standing there and just like topple over. And I love not having that feeling. And I love that feeling when I'm standing there, I feel just strong and in charge. And I have that, I know, because I value walking and I take advantage of step challenges. Since I've been doing step challenges, my sleep is so much better. That is like the benefit of challenges. I'm telling you, you will never sleep as well as you sleep when you're doing a step challenge. Never. It's the most amazing sleep in the world. I have lost pounds, I've lost inches off of my body. The benefits are just endless. And when you do these challenges, it advances your normal. Like I went from my normal being 10,000 steps to my normal being 12,000 steps to my normal being 15,000 steps. It'll keep advancing you and helping you to gain strength and stamina and vitality. So, what have I learned from these 4 challenges? Number one, a plan is so important. You cannot go into a walking challenge without a plan, especially when you get into the 20 and 25,000 step challenges. If you don't have a plan on how you're getting it done, it will not get done. And you'll be one of those people that is up walking until midnight to get all your steps in. I was not one of those people. My days were so well planned that for the most part, except with the 20,000 step challenge on the days I was working my empty nest job, I have been in bed at my regular time and not having to stay up late to get my steps. Second thing, you have to drink. Drink your water. I have a 40-ounce cup. I'll link the one I have in the description below because it's like half the price of a Stanley cup. But I drink a lot of water. I drink 100 ounces of water a day. I recommend you're drinking at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. It is so very important, and make sure it's good filtered water because your body needs to be lubricated, and walking can be dehydrating. So you need to make sure your body is getting the hydration that it needs while you're doing the extra exercise. Next, really pay attention to your diet. Eat lots of protein and vegetables. Now, you'll have to listen to your body. When I got into the 20 and 25,000 step challenges, I needed to add a little more carb to my diet because of the extra calories I was expending, but I chose healthy carbs. When you are pushing your body like that, the last thing you want to be doing is putting garbage in it. So focus on protein and vegetables and really give your body good nutrition so it can work for you and make the step challenges easier. And with diet, please do not use the step challenge as an excuse to eat garbage because you're doing good things for your body when you're doing that challenge. Don't use that as an excuse to eat more calories and garbage. Like use it as a time to cleanse your body and to do good things for it. The next lesson I learned was the desk treadmill for the win. I could not, like I said earlier, could not have done the 20 and the 25,000 step challenge without the desk treadmill. It is a winner. The only bad thing is when you're using it for a step challenge, you have to put your Fitbit on your shoe. And so if you're looking at your calories and trying to calorie count, you will not have an accurate reading for your calories. But if you're typing in things and you don't put your Fitbit on your shoe, you're not going to get an accurate count of your steps. And that's annoying. That has happened to me. So don't let that happen. But desk treadmill for the win if you're going for 20,000 steps and higher. The next thing I learned was people get very inspired by you doing challenges. I can't tell you how many people have said, I need to do a challenge. Just because I'm telling them about what I'm doing, it makes them want to do something better. It encourages people to step out of their comfort zones and to try other things. So people are encouraged when you do step challenges, and that makes the world a better place. And isn't that what we're all about? The next lesson I learned is to listen to your body. I didn't do that very well with the first two challenges that I did, but I learned through those that I had to listen to my body. So when I went into the 25,000 step challenge, it was right after Christmas. My immune system was pretty compromised, and I was a little weaker physically than I had been because of being exposed to a lot of different illnesses. So I knew I had to really listen to my body. And so when I went into that challenge, I made the decision, this challenge is all about the steps. I am not going to worry about incline. I'm not going to worry about speed. I'm not going to lift weights. I'm not going to do strength training. I'm not going to wear my weighted vest. I am all about how many steps I'm getting for the next 7 days. And that was my focus because that's what my body was telling me. So you have to really listen to your body and not push it where it doesn't want to go. So had I tried to add the weights and things into, I would not have been successful on my 25,000 step challenge. So just listen to your body and trust it knows what's best. My next lesson I learned was about foot pain. I deal with a lot of foot pain, and the walking challenges have been hard in that respect. But I had less foot pain on my 25,000 step challenge, which should not have been. My foot pain should have been worse on that challenge, being the fact I was getting 5,000 more steps than I had been getting before. But this time that was not the case. And there's only one thing that I can figure out that was different. And that is about 3 weeks before the challenge, I had started putting castor oil on my feet at night and putting cotton socks on over them. That's the only thing that's different between the 25,000 step challenge and the other three. So I say castor oil for the win again, and I'll link the one that I use below. My next lesson that I learned from these step challenges is focus on getting as much done early as you can without overdoing it. Now, one day during the 25,000 step challenge, I had a 6 o'clock meeting that night. And then also it was my 29-year anniversary since my husband had proposed to me. So I was trying to spend time with him too. I had done my time in the morning. We walked down to Starbucks to get coffee. We walked back. I was about 14,000 steps by that point. So then I said, I need to work for a little while and get steps. So I wanted to get my steps done so I could spend time with my husband. So I'm on my desk treadmill and I'm working, and my feet are getting sore and I'm getting tired and I'm getting kind of cranky. And the next thing I know, I'm like slammed my hand down on the desk because something wasn't going right. And I stopped and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I stopped and I went outside and I took some breaths and I just calmed myself down. I came back in. I worked a little bit longer and I looked at my Fitbit and I was just shy of my 25,000 steps. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll get the rest of the steps just by living. So I closed up my computer and went and spent time with my husband. But I had pushed myself too far that day. And I was trying so hard to get it all done early that I pushed my body beyond where it was comfortable. And I almost went too far. And so I encourage you, get it as much done early as you can without killing yourself. The next lesson I learned was that the 6 a.m. treadmill time will make or break your success. If you don't start out the day, either on the treadmill or outside, getting an hour walk first thing in the morning, you will not start your day in a place of victory. You'll immediately start the day behind. There is nothing better than starting a step challenge. By 7 a.m., you have 6,000 steps under your belt. It sets you up for success. So make sure you take advantage of that walk first thing in the morning and start the day with victory. And finally, with what I learned, timing is everything. Don't plan a step challenge around a business conference you have to attend where you're going to sit for 6 hours, or around a road trip where you're going to be in a car for hours on end. Make sure you set yourself up for success by planning your step challenges when you can actually do them. So don't make your life more difficult than it needs to be. Now, what should you avoid? You should avoid going too fast. I don't agree with the people who go from 4,000 steps to 25,000 steps. But if it works for them, it works for them. But I think slow and steady wins the race. And I think going just beyond where you are is the best thing you can do to keep encouraging you to keep moving, to keep trying the next step challenge. So just go beyond where you are. You're only getting 4,000 steps a day right now. Try 8,000. You're only doing 8,000 steps a day right now. Try a 12,000 step challenge. Just go beyond where you are. Just try, just do something. Make a choice and do it now, because there's no better time. The other thing you want to avoid, junk food. Don't be mean to your body and put garbage in it when you're trying to help it and make it stronger. It's just not good. Junk food will only slow you down, make you feel sluggish, make you feel grouchy, make you feel hungry. It's just not good. The next thing you want to avoid, inappropriate shoes. I've talked about this already. Please don't do that. Just wear a decent pair of shoes to get your walk in. And you may even want to switch between different shoes if you're doing longer step challenges. I have found that to be really helpful. The next thing to avoid, excuses. Please, just don't make the excuses. The excuses, they're just set up for failure. But, I could have made a lot of excuses. Back when I first started doing these step challenges, I was still at a place that when I got extra steps during the day, I would often pay for it physically. And so I could have said, oh, I can't do step challenges because they make me weaker. I can't do step challenges because I don't have time. I can't do step challenges because I have autoimmune problems. I can't, but I didn't do that. Instead, I found a way to do step challenges, and it made my life better. And speaking of excuses, you want to avoid negative people. They're always out there. They're just there. And sometimes people who don't like to get out of their comfort zone like to drag down the people who do. So just avoid negative people while you're doing step challenges, because they'll just question you and tell you you don't need to do that. That's stupid. And you don't need that. Hang out with people who are going to encourage you and walk with you and help you to be successful in your step challenge. I would also be avoiding alcohol and sugar. Alcohol and sugar do nothing but cause inflammation and make you feel crappy. So you don't want to do anything that's going to make the step challenge harder. And the last thing you want to avoid is scheduling your step challenge with too many sitting events. So I have the rule during a step challenge, no more than one sitting event in the day, because that way I can work around one event, but it is really hard to work around 2 or 3. I know this from my 20,000 step challenge. So trust me, one sitting event a day. And that's all you can really do when you're doing a step challenge. So how can you guarantee your success during a step challenge? Number 1, have a plan. Every step challenge I've done, I have time blocked. I know exactly when I'm walking, how I'm doing it, where I'm getting the steps. I have a plan laid out, and that makes all the difference in the world. You need to make a commitment. You've got to commit to following through and doing this for 7 days or 30 days, whatever your commitment is. Stick with that commitment. Remember what I said. Tell yourself, I am a person who does step challenges. I am a person who looks for ways to move. I am a person who sees movement as a gift. I am a person who improves my health. Tell yourself the right things and commit to doing that step challenge. You'll be so happy you did. Next, you want to create a step habit. For me, 6 a.m. is a step habit. I get up in the morning and I get on the treadmill. It's who I am. It's what I do. I'm the woman who gets on the treadmill 6 a.m. every morning. It does not matter where I am, if I'm on vacation, whatever the situation is, I'm on the treadmill 6 a.m. every morning. I was on the treadmill 6 a.m. Christmas morning. It's what I do. It's who I am. That's the kind of commitment you need. And that's the kind of habit you need. You need to have a habit of being a person who moves. Now, I started my 6 a.m. time with 30 minutes. You may need to start it with 15. You may need to start it with 30. I just gradually grew to 60. I tried at making it 90. My body doesn't like that. 60 is my sweet spot. If I'm lifting weights, I do 45 minutes. Find what works for you and then stick to that. Make it your habit. Because when you do that, you start out the day with 6,000 steps in your step bank. What a victory. Next, you want to get accountability. You need people who are either going to walk with you, support you while you're doing your challenge, maybe find a walking group. I love getting out and walking with other people, but that accountability helps to make all the difference in the world when you're doing something hard, like a step challenge. So get people that are going to be behind you. Get your family to get out and walk with you. When you get other people walking, you're helping them to be healthier too, and you're making the world better. And you also want to prioritize your rest. Step challenges are tiring. You're pressing your body, you're pushing your body to do something hard. It does wear you out. So your rest is a priority. So don't plan for late night things when you're doing a step challenge. Get to bed at a decent time because you're going to get up early and get on that treadmill for the next day. Take care of your body because I'm telling you, as I said before, your sleep will never be better than it is during a step challenge. Take advantage of that. Enjoy the rest because it makes you feel so amazing in the morning. And you need to feel amazing when you're trying to get 20,000 steps the next day. And if you're ready to do a step challenge, you want to check out other walking videos like one of these here. And until next time, carry on.